We're going right now to an ultimate man cave, I'm told, to talk to Aaron Brooks, NBA point guard, most recently in Minnesota. Aaron, it's great to have you, man. I love where you're hanging out, dude. That looks amazing.
Man, I just been chilling up here in my man cave, catching up on some sports, and man, you guys decided to call, have this conversation, all the trades that's happening, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, speaking of trades, do you have a favorite pair of sneakers in there that you wouldn't trade for anything? Is there like a favored pair somewhere behind you?
Of course, probably the Oregon LeBrons. You know, I had to go with them. Got them my sophomore year. Those would probably be my favorite. But any shoe as long as they clean in my faves. I like Nike, so whatever.
It looks good. So you said it. It's trade deadline day. It has come and gone. We've got some news, not any blockbusters, but a lot of guys got that phone call or that conversation that they're going somewhere else. You've been traded not once but twice in your career. Can you give us some insight, firsthand perspective, what that's like when you find out you're moving, you're playing for somebody else?
It's a experience, man, that unlike nothing else. You don't know what's going to happen. So, you're looking at the update just like everybody else, not knowing if it's going to go through or not. I remember one time I got traded after the deadline to Phoenix, and it's just something that, you got to, move your family and all that. But, it's also a chance just for another opportunity to go out there and play and show what you can do. And I know some of these guys that have been sitting on the bench are excited for other opportunities too.
Is there like a rule? Is it like you can't break up with somebody by cell phone? Do you have to get called to a meeting, or is it just a text message? Hey, Aaron, congrats, we sent you somewhere else.
It could be a call. It could be Wojo. It could be anything. It depends on who your agent is. But if you have a good one, they'll probably let you know before. But I had some guys get traded when they got off the plane. Back in the day, back in '09, before social media was really popular. We had a flight. And I remember somebody got traded as soon as we got off the flight. So they didn't even know until we landed because we didn't have reception and Wi-Fi wasn't big back then. So it's kind of the new school and the old school of how you find out now.
All right, so the biggest news of the day is what did not happen. Anthony Davis, at least for the moment, not going to be a Laker. He's going to remain a Pelican. I know you're not in that locker room, but just in general terms, what is it like when everybody knows that a guy wants out, and we know that Anthony Davis wants out because his agent Rich Paul told us? What is that vibe like going forward, knowing that you're playing with someone who doesn't want to be there?
You just have to be professional. It's a business at the end of the day. Going into it, you got to go out there and play your balls off and play hard. And I think for the guys in that locker room, they're just looking at it as an opportunity for them to go out there and play. Of course, AD is a big piece to the team, and I know a couple guys stayed there to win championships with him there, so I know that's difficult. But at the end of the day, you have a job to do, and I know some of the guys are just like, yo, it's an opportunity for me since he's out. You can see Okafor's been playing great since AD's been out.
Yeah, we just opened the show with the fact that the Browns not moving, but Mirotic is going to the Bucks. They played great this year, offensively and defensively. They've been awesome with Budenholzer as the coach. What do you make of this move, sending Mirotic to Milwaukee?
I think it's huge for Milwaukee. They're pushing their chips in. They're showing that they're trying to win championship and build around Giannis. Giannis is one of my favorite superstars in the league because, he just plays well. He shares the ball. You see his stat line, he goes 11 for 15, and he'll have 30 points in the game. He shares the ball. And, Mirotic is one of them guys, he's just an unconscious shooter. Whether he's 3 for 19 or 3 for 4, or, he's going to continue shooting when he's open. And that's what Milwaukee needs, man, because, Giannis can get to the cup anytime. They have those guys that's out there spacing the floor. Mirotic, that's unconscious shooter. They needed that in Milwaukee. So a big up for them. I'm also excited for Stanley to get to go play, with the Pelicans. They strap up on defense. I think he fits well with Drew. It's a good trade both ways for both teams.
Something of an arms race in the Eastern Conference. So Milwaukee makes their move. Toronto made a move today. Marc Gasol going to be a member of that really good Raptors team. What do you think of that fit?
He's interesting. Offensively, it definitely helps him because he can do many things, on the court as far as, facilitating. He's a great passer. a veteran guy in the locker room that's been in the playoffs many a times, and somebody that's been in the West for so long, going to the East, man, it's a different type of beast. It's like two different styles of playing the East and the West. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Defensively, they're losing a lot, losing Valanciunas because he was the anchor to that defense back there. But since they have Kawhi, they can kind of give up Valanciunas. He makes it more expendable. But I'm looking forward to see how that plays well with Marc Gasol there in Toronto. But like I said, he's great on offense, and he's been good in the playoffs.
And the third deal in the Eastern Conference that could be significant is the one that happened the last few days. Tobias Harris going from the Clippers to Philly, and this is not a shot, Aaron, at all at Harris. I think he's a really good player. Just to me, struck me as a lot to pay for that particular guy. Not sure about the fit. Do you like the fit? What do you make of the Sixers as they're constructed now?
They're looking for shooters and players. They're not too concerned about positions. They're trying to get six guys that can play. So I'm just that's a lot to spend on Tobias, but he's a guy that's proven that he can score the ball. He can shoot from the outside. He's hungry for that next deal. Jimmy's hungry for that next deal. You have a bunch of hungry guys trying to win, and hopefully it works out. You have a bunch of guys that don't really have particular positions, but they all know how to play basketball. So the coach has his job cut out for him. So we'll see how it all plays well together. But they're definitely going for it this year, and that's exciting to see. And it has to be exciting for the Philadelphia fans to see some kind of action or see them trying to go after their championship and pushing towards it instead of holding on to their picks.
Yeah, you brought up Jimmy Butler. You played with him in Minnesota last year. Obviously, Butler now a member of that Sixers team. And we've heard a lot of different things from reports publicly, some people I've talked to around the NBA, about Butler and how he maybe didn't fit with that Minnesota team. You know him. You play with him. How do you think he's going to fit as a leader, as a locker room guy in Philadelphia?
I think at the end of the day, Jimmy just wants to win. He challenged a couple guys in the locker room in Minnesota. Some responded, some folded. I think the stuff that came out in the media in the beginning of the season is not anything that was different that was happening when I was there, except for as reported. He's an aggressive personality, but a good dude, a good teammate. Definitely a guy that you want on the floor with him. And, he's trying to figure out things out in Philadelphia. And, I think he's a competitor, and he's definitely going to be there. It might not show now, but when he gets to the playoffs, he's definitely going to be one of the pieces that help him push him to the top. So they have a bunch of pieces trying to put it all together. Ben Simmons is a different style of point guard that they have to get used to playing with the big fella. So all of it, putting it together, is going to be tough. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in the playoffs as well.
It's really fun. The Eastern Conference has some really good basketball teams. The Celtics. We've got a Philly team that now has Harris. We talked about Toronto and the addition of Gasol. We talked about Milwaukee and bringing in Mirotic. Three of those teams look a lot different than they did a week ago. For your money, Aaron, which of those four teams do you think now has the edge in the Eastern Conference, now that we know what they actually look like?
That's tough. Tough decision. I like Milwaukee. I like what they did. It might not be the most appealing trade as far as getting Nico. I think that fits the best right now for them as far as how they've been playing and going forward. I think he'll fit in perfect. The 76ers is still a question mark because there's so many different pieces coming in, and nobody really has a defined position. I think it depends on how Tobias shoots it, how well JJ shoots it, and how well Jimmy shoots it, because they need some shooting from the outside. I think that is most important for them. So I'm gonna have to go with Milwaukee, 76ers, Toronto, and then the rest. So those are my picks as far as
it's nice.
The deadline.
I love it. It's nice to have some good teams in the Eastern Conference to talk about. Philly, we've talked about. Markelle Fultz has become an afterthought, even though not that long ago the number one overall pick in the draft. He got traded today as well. He's going to Orlando. If memory serves, you were the most improved player in 2009, I think it was. So you know something about the ups and downs of an NBA career. What can a new start, a fresh start, hopefully look like for a guy like Fultz, who's got talent, but has had some very public struggles with his shot and with his game?
Oh, man, hopefully it's just a breath of fresh air for him. I know he's been through a lot at 76ers. He has some ties to Washington. So, a couple guys been watching his career closely. I have been too. And, just hopefully he finds it, man. He's a good kid and, he's been going through a lot. And, I hope mentally, man, the game is so much mental. I hope that he just clears his mind and has a free start and go out there in Orlando and shows what he can do because he definitely has the talent. So, they need a point guard to come in there and take over the franchise, man. This is another start for him.
All right, Iman Shumpert is now a member of the Rockets. They need defense. They lost Mbamute and Trevor Ariza from last year's team that almost made the finals. I know it's not a blockbuster trade, but do you think it's enough to get Houston back to where at least they were last year, which is a Western Conference Finals contending team?
I think Houston lost a lot with Trevor Ariza letting him go. And I think Iman Shumpert comes from that type, just a guy that's going to strap up, doesn't need the ball, and shoots a decent percentage wide open. And you're going to have a bunch of wide open shots with James Harden, penetrating and, finding people. So I think he fits perfect. Iman Shumpert, he straps up. He has that playoff experience. He's been there. He's not afraid to play against the Warriors and, all these top teams that's there, and he's ready to lock up. So I think this is a great position for him. And Houston, great deal. It's kind of like the Nico deal.
Yeah, that's cool. Aaron, we're looking forward to your agent getting that call, you getting back out there, playing for one of those teams smart enough to give you a shot. We appreciate you being on the show and love getting a look inside the man cave, man. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, man. Anytime. And if anybody needs a point guard veteran, I'm here. 10 days are available.